Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of what's this place called? Caw Cast? Yes. Joining me in the studios today, as always, the ever, well, I guess, loyal and present Garrick. Garrick, what's going on, man?
Not much. Beautiful Sunday morning in the
Nothing
great
much.
state of Georgia.
Oh yes. Man, did you get any April Fool's jokes?
Nah, no.
Not a s Yeah, man, this is the first year I didn't call my mom and say, something stupid at midnight to where she wanted to cuss me out. But yeah, man, it's going good. So, guys, we've got a good show going on today. But first of all, Garrick, I just want to say, like, real quick, after our movie podcast that we did last week was actually like pretty good. I've had a lot of guys commenting, especially you, John. John J.F. Sutton Jr. He has been tweeting me back and forth about just things that he agreed with and didn't like. So it was kind of cool. We have to do that again. We gotta get the crew together.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Had
Yeah.
a fruitful discussion about a terrible movie.
Don't let Edgar hear that. Kidding, man, kidding. You know how we do on here. We love you, man. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So the Hawks played last week. They played the Raptors in Toronto on the end of a 3-game road trip. Huh. Anything to say about that?
Uh, that game was, I guess, probably the Hawks' worst game in their last. What are they? 12-3 before that game?
Yeah,
I think
something like that.
since their hot streak started, that was probably the worst game they had. Uh, Lots of turnovers. Jeff was pretty good in the first half. I guess Coach Bud wanted to concede the game and just he took his starters out. Was it the middle of the third? And
Yeah,
the bench made a pretty good run, but you kind of knew that they weren't gonna win it.
yeah. It was. I don't know. He took him out, and it kind of like to me, he probably tried to get them ready for Cleveland. Leave that anger or that hunger to try to win. But yeah, Jeff was pretty good in that game. What else do we have that played decently? Looking at the box score right here. Man, starters were just bleh. For whatever reason, Paul Millsap always seems to have a hard time against them. I don't know what it is.
So yeah, and I think Valanciunas he gives Horford and Millsap a hard time with his length.
Yeah, yeah. Valanciunas. I'm so glad you pronounced it right. I wonder why we don't. I wonder why we don't see Bobe. Excuse me, former Atlanta Hawks legend Lucas Nogueira playing much. I just feel all kinds of hurt. Bismack Biyombo with the Bismack Biyombo stat of the game: 1 field goal attempt, 1 field goal.
Pretty good at the free throw line though,
Yeah, he hit
surprisingly.
5 for 6 from the free throw line.
And the ever present Hawks killer, DeMar
DeMar,
DeRozan.
yep, DeMar DeRozan, Hawks slaughterer. Man, he has taken that relay. He has taken the torch from Vince Carter. I feel, but
Oh yeah,
this game. Just wrap it up real quick. This game pretty much had dropped the Hawks to what were they, fourth now? After not now, but then they dropped to fourth or fifth, if I can remember. But then we had a miracle that night. I remember this because we were up watching the the Lakers play,
Yeah.
and the Lakers ended up beating them. I was going to say just pure miracle. Anything else on this game before we move on to Cleveland?
Uh, no. I'm curious to see how the Hawks handle their next game with the Raptors at home.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be a good point. I'm hoping the Raptors will. Well, let me see. I don't know how their schedule looks. I was like, do you think the Raptors will be resting then?
When is the game? Thursday?
I think so. Let me see. They play the Suns Tuesday, and the Thursday.
Yeah, hopefully Cleveland will wrap up. I doubt it. What are they? How many games behind are they? 2 games? Two and a
I
half
think
games?
so. Yeah, 2.5, 2.5 or three. One of those. I'm doing this off the top of my head, but that is it. And ugh, it wasn't fun, especially considering we had the win streak and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But moving on, let's talk about the next game that the Hawks had on their list. And I was hoping they went 1 for 2, but I didn't think it. But they played the Cleveland Cavaliers, and well, we saw the game, Garrick. They got off. The Cavs got off to a hot start. Coach Bud must have yelled at something, like threatened to take something from them at halftime, because they came back at the half, took the lead at one point, but eventually had to go to overtime. And well, they put up more of a fight. We'll just say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, the second half was much more competitive. You got Jeff Teague and Paul Millsap went to work.
Yes. Kyrie Irving reminded me, oh yeah, he's not as good as a defender as his backup that hurts people.
Oh, that guy. He
That
who
guy.
shall not be named.
Yeah, yeah, him. Hmm.
And Horford, that was a tough game for Al. 0 for 6 from deep,
Oosh.
5 for 17 overall.
Yeesh. I always thought like, well, how did Millsap do this game? Let me take a look at him.
29 points, 12 rebounds,
Oh, okay, that's good.
2 steals.
Did you make note of or at least watch whenever they put Tristan Thompson in the game? Because I always thought, Tristan always would give Horfat. I just said Horsap. Um, man, that's the second time I've done this. We really needed Dennis Bazemore this game, but Horford, not Horford, Millsap, Paul Millsap. That's what I'm talking about. Timothy. Yeah, I'm saying that Tristan Thompson, at least he gave him troubles last year, so it was good to see Millsap have a good game like that. And man, something that kind of stood out to me is the Cavs went play a 9-man rotation, and LeBron played 44 of those minutes.
Yeah.
Head coach Tyrone Lue really didn't want to lose to the Hawks. I don't know why. Do you know why he wouldn't want to lose to
He
him?
should be used to losing in Atlanta.
Maybe we should put on the gold jersey so he could have gotten used to it.
Well, Mike
Tyrone,
Scott played 9 minutes and didn't take a shot.
really? Okay, yeah, that's
Not
right.
take a shot. Wow. But did
That's
you see Kent Bazemore's fall?
oh, which one? Because I saw multiple.
The one where LeBron slid in late and
Oh, the one I actually called the charge on him.
yeah.
The You know, when they called the charge on him, then I was just kind of like, I just don't get this league sometimes. That and the screens, because somebody put up a video of what a moving screen was, and it's kind of funny that in the example they used Kevin Garnett, but I was looking at this game and I was like, yeah, I really don't know what a moving screen is compared to what I've seen with some of these. But hey, it was, man, it was like your classic game as a Hawks fan of when they play the Cavs or when they play LeBron. You just, it just angers you.
Yeah.
I mean, just angers you watching LeBron play. And it's like, really, really.
The starters, for the most part, were good in this game. Kent Bazemore was so. He had 12 rebounds and 6 assists.
Yeah, and well, he was doing the best he could.
Yeah, but the bench, that's probably where we lost it.
Yeah. What happened to Dennis, man? I seem to remember just like it was rough watching him.
Yeah, that when he usually comes in, what does he come in like in the end of the first quarter? Plays
Yeah.
half of the second. That was
Yeah.
when Cavs took off.
Yeah, Dennis, man. What is it about Deladova that like people can't, our guys just I don't know. You would think like matched up on him. Dennis should shred Kyrie, like offensively at least, if he has him on him. Now
Yeah,
that is unless if they did a switch. Unless if the Cavs are switching around to put Shumpert on him, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Hardaway continued to his rough shooting. Dennis didn't look good. Yeah. I don't know. It'd just be interesting moving forward. But at least I know, like, I don't know. Would you see this as a moral victory
uh,
if there is such a thing?
I guess you can take positives from the second half.
Yeah.
What they did, how they played defensively.
Yeah.
I guess that's about it.
I mean, this is the best team in the East this year, so it's not like, I don't know, you can get too upset. But on TI night? By the way, Garrick, I wish they would put, do they put those t-shirts up for sale that they have with like TI and whatnot?
I know they put the 2 Chainz T-shirt up for sale. I don't know
And man,
about the Ti.
I want the TI ones because last year when I went to go get it, it was sold out. When I went to the Hawk store, the only size they had left was like triple XL.
Where there's a tall T, Josh.
Yeah, it's not. If it were
Pretend you're
2000,
Ti in 2005.
yeah, I was gonna say if it was like 2002, 2004 again, I would totally get it. But that's that, man. Just so annoying to watch. Jr. shot Jr. shot 9 3-pointers. Same with Kevin Love. Wow, I didn't know
And
they
he
shot
missed a
that.
couple wide open ones, surprisingly.
Well, he doesn't like taking wide open shots. Remember, it's like
Hand in his face.
yeah, it's only when it makes it more fun.
Yeah,
But as we know from the shooting god himself, Kyle Korver, acknowledged the shooting ability of J.R. Smith.
yeah.
So let's move on real quick. We got about 10 minutes before I'm going to invite our guest on. We got some time, man. Nice. So let's go on and talk about real quick. I guess, do you want to talk about the upcoming? Well, want to go over the standings real quick, where we're at? Play conspiracy theory with upcoming schedule. So in my tabs that I have pulled up on my computer, I got the Hawks, Celtics, Hornets, Heat schedule because that's really the only ones we're paying attention to right now. Did you see the Celtics pulled the miracle?
Yeah.
Do you know how much
Yeah.
like I wanted to see them lose? Like I wanted to see both teams lose, but it was just kind of like I will take one lesser evil over the other and root for Golden State that game. And sure enough, it's like when we need these like high powered Western Conference teams to win, they won. Because you remember, I want to say a week ago or so, the Spurs lost to the Hornets,
Hmm.
and then now they up and lose to the freaking Celtics. Like,
The Heat, I mean, the Trailblazers did us a favor last night.
oh, they did us more than a favor. Yeah, I appreciate that. I was kind of hoping they would win, but first of all, let's talk about the Heat for a second.
Hmm.
Let's talk about the Heat. So they lost to the Lakers, that was a favor. Like, I don't know. I was just like looking at the game. I was like, please, Lakers, please, Lakers. Yeah, it was a miracle they won that. But then that same night, it was just kind of like as one miracle happened, another one was undone. And DeMarcus idiot, like, God, moron.
Yeah.
When we needed Cousins, like when we needed him. Yeah. So you saw that happen because you
Yeah.
pointed that out to me. I was like, crap, please let them take back that technical. Nope. Cousins was suspended that game. But yeah, Trailblazers. I don't know if you call it tough or not, but the Heat go up and play the Pistons and then Bulls these next two games.
Pistons probably tough. The Bulls, Taj Gibson's out. Derrick Rose is surprise, surprise, hurt.
We'll see what happens. The game's on Thursday, so their game is on Thursday. Then they play the Magic away and then at home. Magic are an annoyingly tough team.
Yeah.
Then they play the Pistons again, the second to last game of the year, and then the Celtics for their final game.
Good job, schedule makers, having them play the
Yeah.
Celtics in the last game.
Yeah, I know that. So the Hornets, after convincingly winning two straight games against the 76ers, congratulations, guys. Like, really, you beat the 76ers twice. They play the Cavs today on the road, and then they play the Raptors Tuesday on the road.
Then a back-to-back. The Knicks.
Uh,
Yep.
on a back to no, it's
Well,
not back to back.
the Raptors, then the Knicks.
Oh,
Back to
then the
back.
Knicks. Yeah, I'm back to back.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I feel they can beat the Knicks, but
Porzingis is out, isn't he?
who
Isn't Porzingis out for the year?
is he?
Or they might sit him out for the year.
Honestly, did the Knicks have a draft pick this year?
No.
Okay. Nah, it's whatever for them. I mean, if they win, it really does nothing. If they just sit him and make sure he doesn't get hurt, I don't know. But who are we talking about? The Hornets. They play the Cavs, the Raptors. Let's hope that Kyrie still continues to think that they're the team to beat and they come out and play tough. I'm glad that they play the Raptors kind of before the schedule, before the end of the year when the Raptors might be resting people.
Yeah.
Because the Raptors, if they can win those two games, they can think that, you would think that they can beat the Knicks and then the Nets. It's going to be interesting to see how it is because the Celtics they play the Knicks, the Nets, then the Wizards. That might be the time where you might think about resting or not, depending how the Cavs schedule looks. But the Wizards are going to try to win. So who knows? And then the Celtics are definitely going to try to win. And then they play the Magic the last game of the year. They're probably going to be resting, so that doesn't matter. But depending what happens, their second to last game of the year is against the Celtics. And we might see – I don't know. We don't know if they're going to try to beat the Celtics or not.
You think some of these teams are going to try to avoid fourth and fifth and try to get the sixth seed?
Ooh, that's a huh. It's a good point.
I don't know about if the Heat will. Heat probably think they have a chance against the Cavs.
Um, okay, so I would think that,
But yeah, go ahead.
but I was gonna say if any of the teams, maybe the Celtics, but I feel like they're too proud in what they do, and they're really just there for the experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they don't care. And then the only other team are the Hornets, and I don't know. I feel like they try to win every game, um, and they try to win every game, so they might not tank. Just because I don't know, it's the Hornets. It's. I feel they don't think that far ahead. Not that they don't think that far ahead, but they're that competitive that they want to win every game. I feel the same for both those teams. And then, as you mentioned, the Heat think they probably have a chance to beat the Cavs because they've done it before.
What about the seventh and eighth seed? Who do you see taking that?
How close are the games in the seventh and eighth? Detroit, Indiana.
Half a game. Detroit seventh. Indiana's half a game back at eight.
Where are the Wizards and the
Wizards are
Bulls?
3 games out of the last, and the Bulls are 2 games out.
Oh boy. Um, man,
I
I
think
can't believe the second
the
best team in
Wizards
the.
are dead.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think they're. I think they're. I don't think they're gonna come back out of this. But the second best team in the East, yeah, the Bulls.
Yeah, yeah. I'm taking a look at the standings right now. Hmm. Chicago. Well, wait. Chicago is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't. I think Washington has to win out to basically think they have a chance, but nah. I really don't know. I need to look at the schedules, but of what I can tell with reading Detroit's name, I know they have kind of a somewhat tough schedule. Let me look up the Pacers' schedule real quick. Well, the Pacers play the Knicks today, so there's that.
They lost to the. Who did they lose to? The Nets the other night. So nothing's guaranteed for them.
They play okay. Play the Cavs and the man. These Cavs and Raptors games just show up for everybody. So they play the Cavs
It's like the final boss when you get to the end of the.
end of the game. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like they're playing. Well, I was going to make a super nerd reference, but yeah, they play the Cavs on Wednesday and the Raptors Friday, then Nets, Knicks, and then the Bucks last game of the season. I don't know. Well, I don't think they're going to be. Two of those are to me guaranteed losses, considering they're this week, and I don't think both teams. It'll be interesting to see when the Cavaliers start to shut it down for the year.
Yeah.
And then from there we'll get the domino effect of when the Raptors. But let me where are we at right now? Let me send this over to our guest for the day. Hmm. All right. Okay, so I just sent it out. We'll see when our guest joins us. But Celtics, let's talk about the Celtics real quick. Oh boy, looking at the Celtics. Okay, so the Celtics play the Lakers. That's going to be a win. The Pelicans, probably a win. The Bucks, probably a win. Hawks, no idea. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the last 3 games on the Celtics schedule are the
Hawks,
Hawks,
Hornets, Heat.
Hawks, Hornets, Heat. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a heck of a way to end the year.
Schedule maker should get some raises.
Who do we play? Okay,
We
so
got
we
the
play the
Wizards.
we play the Cavs. This our second to last game. So maybe the Cavs will have shut it down by then. Maybe. But I'm kind of anticipating to play the the Raptors at full force. Celtics definitely on Saturday. You know, it's going to be really disappointing, and it'd be so Hawks if we lost to the Suns Tuesday. Oh my goodness. So while we wait, I want to talk about the Suns game that we're probably going to be watching and recording at the same time.
Yeah.
So it basically had to be explained to me, or at least explained to me. Somebody confirmed about your countdown to the draft thing for them.
Yeah. That's like tanking 2.0.
Tanking 2.0. It's definitely something like just admitting to the fans. Oh man. But do we get to see is Hawks legend um John Jenkins still in the Suns?
He was on the Suns? I did
I,
not know that.
I thought I could be wrong. I thought they picked him up. Uh
Yeah, he is on the Suns.
oh, okay, okay. Whew, okay, I was right. Hawks legend John Jenkins.
Wow. Who's the guy who hit the game-winning shot? Was that Archie Goodwin or
Might have been. I
against the
think
Hawks?
against the Hawks.
Yeah, earlier this year.
Uh, I actually forgot about that game. Um, hmm.
Isn't Eric Bledsoe back too? So
Why? You know what's gonna make me mad is when the Suns are gonna like actually come out and try to win this game. I'm gonna be like, why?
yeah,
What's the Suns lineup look like? Because I'm not sure. If Eric Bledsoe's back, is Devin Booker? Does Devin Booker start?
he's their best player. He better start. Well, not their best player, but
The only one with promise.
yeah.
Let me look up their game. Well, they lost to the Wizards, so there's that. Let me look up. Let me look up the Suns' most previous game. That is not what I'm trying to look up. There we go.
But Eric Bledsoe's not back apparently. I must have been
Rodney
thinking of
Williams.
Brandon Knight. Brandon Knight played, but no, he did not play. In that last game, Alex Lynn and Tyson Chandler gave the Hawks a lot of trouble. I think Tyson Chandler had a career high in rebounds, 20
Tyson
something.
Ch- Tyson Chandler is on the All Star. I remember you made a post a couple of years ago of like all time great players that never made the All Star team against the Hawks. No, I can't remember, but he's one of those players.
Yeah.
All right, let's see where is the okay. Cool. I'm ready. Let me set the reply. Great. Great. Just click. Do we have them on?
Hey guys, I'm here.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing good.
How are
Doing
you?
good. Garrett, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Long time fan. Been
Long
watching
time.
you since you called Braves games.
It's a long time, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say. Well, good.
So, I was gonna ask. So, Bob, how can you give us like I don't know? Can you stay on for like 15
Yeah,
minutes or so?
yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great, great. Well, let me get us started. All right, great. Welcome back, guys. Joining us today in our celebrity hotline, I guess, seat in Caw Cast Studios, we have Mr. Bob Rathburn, the legend himself. Bob, welcome back.
Hey guys, how are you all doing?
We are doing good, man. Doing good. Glad to be talking to you.
Thank you. That was a
Uh,
tough one Friday night.
well, moral victories, Bob. That's what I'm
Yeah.
about.
Do they have a column for that on the standings?
Win, loss, tie. Yeah, yeah. We'll replace it with the tie, since there's not one in basketball.
MV, moral victory.
Oh, that's great. Well, just to let the people out there know, Bob here, I took a vacation home to go see my parents for Christmas. I ran down at the end of the game, and Bob was nice enough to take a selfie with me. So Bob is for the people, and we appreciate that.
Man of the people.
Man of the people.
What you guys want to talk about?
We're going to be talking about Hawks, man. Well, I mean, no, I'm kidding. Well, let me first of all say to you, Bob, last time we talked, you mentioned how the beginning of the year was kind of rough just because it was new faces, new people. We were missing a starter. And you know what? You were right. The Hawks picked it up, especially these last like 12, 14 games or whatever it was since All-Star break. So just want to point out, man, you've been right on that. And feel free to tell us how right you are.
Well, I tell you, the amazing part, I think, of our success over the last, I don't know, month or so really has been the addition of Chris Humphreys. Our starting unit has remained intact since Bazemore took over at the 3, but the bench has been in and out. We've seen progress from obviously Dennis, but Tim Hardaway has come on where we didn't have him earlier in the year, but we needed a glue guy to form up that second team, and I think they found it in Chris Humphreys. He gives us a little muscle. He gives us some toughness and rebounding that they had not had, and we were looking for a big after Tiago went down with the season-ending surgery. So, they worked on the Humphreys deal for quite some time, first via a trade and then a buyout, as it turned out, from Phoenix. So we were lucky to get him, and I thought that probably sparked our move more than anything. That and the fact that we played just outstanding defense and have been the number 1 rated defensive team since the first of the year. So I think those two things probably have fueled our success more than anything.
Oh yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun to watch them these past couple weeks, and I'm
No
hearing you in the broadcast, man. You always sounding like you're having fun. You had a comment saying, I want to say, I may be wrong in this quote, but you said, "Oh man, the only thing that could stop Jeff Teague tonight is Mike Budenholzer."
That was take him out of the game. Well, he does need his rest,
Yeah, yeah.
There's no telling what's going to come out of this mouth during a broadcast. So that's why you got to tune in every night.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. We appreciate it. Garrick, you got anything?
Bob, how would you handicap this 3 through 6 race in the East? bias aside. Well,
Yeah,
we're all
yeah. Well,
biased.
I mean, we're all right there.
Yeah.
Charlotte's at Cleveland later today, and we would think the Cavs would win that game. We had Boston down for a loss at Golden State,
Yeah.
and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, you're coming down. We've still got we've still got a home game left with Boston. We still have Toronto Thursday. Um, we go to Cleveland and go to Washington, but by that time, their fates may be known in terms of a playoff season. So um, we may not get, LeBron and that whole cast as they start to rest people. And by the time that we get to Washington, I'm sure they'll be eliminated from contention. So we may get a break on those last two road games. But I think one of the big things for this team is to regain that swagger a little bit. I thought we lost it in Toronto. It was a very bitter defeat. Everybody talks about what a great comeback we made, and we did, and to the players' credit. But I hate the fact that we got to get down by 21 before we start playing. We need to have that right from the start. So I think this could still fall any way. You asked me to handicap 3 through 6, and probably, Charlotte probably, if they could upset Cleveland today, they might solidify third given their schedule. Miami was 1-2 out west. They got beat again last night in Portland. But they've got the tiebreaker over the Hawks, so it's like, even a tie, we're a game behind them. We do own the tiebreaker on Charlotte. We're up 2-1 on Boston. So those tiebreakers head-to-head are key. Multiple tie. You go to conference standing. So, these are some big games. This is our last one against the West Tuesday with Phoenix, and then we're Eastern the rest of the way. So, still a little too early to tell. I think by next weekend, obviously we'll have a lot clearer view of it. But probably Boston maybe playing the best. But let's see how they do against the Lakers tonight. I mean, there's just no real guarantee. As we saw with Miami losing to the Lakers last week. So a lot of ball to be played, and I just want us to get rolling. I want these last 5 to be back where we were, with Detroit and Chicago, and just playing that great D and, looking good on offense and really clicking, because now's the time to turn it on.
So everybody knows right now, Bob is doing all this schedule and stuff off the top of his head, which is really neat. Me and Garrick were just talking about all this, Bob. We actually kind of mentioned the exact same things you were talking about, but I was looking at a schedule. So this is neat. You could do it off the top of your head.
I live this stuff, This is my whole life. I don't do anything else but study this stuff. I have no life.
Oh, man. So saying all that, do you have a preference of, obviously, we want the Hawks to get the 3rd seed right now.
Yes.
Obviously, that's what we want. Do you have a preference on who we would play? I asked this because I was listening to the Hang Time podcast with Seiko Smith, and he had Marvin Williams, our good buddy, on the podcast. He said he would want to come to Atlanta, but is more as for the fact because of travel and because, family, and he knows the location and all that.
Right. I really don't. The one thing that I worry about probably more than anything is if you play Miami, are you going to get the whistle? Are you going to get a fair whistle?
Yeah.
That I worry about because, they're one of the favored species.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're not. So I worry about that. I don't worry about that so much with Charlotte. A little bit with Boston, but I would really be concerned about Miami. That said, obviously based on the results, we match up a lot better with Charlotte and Boston. than we do the Heat. Um, yeah, it's an interesting question. We've had such good success with Charlotte. I would think that would be a favorable Hawks matchup. Um, I think we've matched up favorably with Boston, to
Oh
be
man.
honest with you guys. And because they're a lot like us, they don't have the dominant score, they don't have the superstar um, that's going to get the whistle. So that um, I think those two teams probably more than Miami, but we could do some things to hurt the Heat too. So um, I the only thing is I like you say I want to finish third or fourth. So if it does go seven, you're going to have the game in Phillips Arena. I think that would be key. I don't think home court advantage in the playoffs is that big a deal if the teams are fairly even because each can win on the other guy's court. But if it does come down to a game seven, that's when you want home court advantage because then the odds of winning increase to like 75-25 over history. And you want that on your side.
Yeah. For the guys out there listening, also second thing right now, Garrick was just nodding his like neck off to everything you were saying because Bob, everything you're saying is basically what Garrick has been telling me the last week or so. So
Right.
that's Garrick. You've been well. Go ahead, man. Go ahead if you have anything.
I just kind of wanted to talk about Bob's career. How did you get started in business? And what do you prefer? I know that you call ACC and SEC games. What do you prefer? Professional game or?
Yeah, well,
Uh,
I'm one of those weird guys that I like them both. I like college for what it is, and obviously the NBA is the highest level of basketball in the world, so you appreciate, the professional side of it. I think I
yeah,
feel that way because I grew up as a kid in North Carolina, and I was pretty heavily involved in the ACCs as a statistician and radio person, keeping stats and stuff when I was a junior in high school. So I got to see a lot of the history of that conference and have been broadcasting games for Raycom for 28 years. So I've got a little special place in my heart for that. But the pro game is special. It's so much fun. Just love it. I'm little frustrated here. We haven't had a game since Friday, so I'm getting a little antsy. I'm ready to get
Yes.
back in the gym. But I started when I was 12. I grew up in a small town in North Carolina, and when I was 12 years old, the announcer on duty invited me down to the radio station after I called him and complimented him on the programming. And that began an every Sunday ritual for me where I hung out at the station. And one day the sportscaster showed up and said, "Well, son, if you like sports and you like radio, help us broadcast these baseball games, American Legion ball in the summertime." They were on the radio because the team was so good, perennial state champs, and packed the ballpark and a lot of interest in town. And I kept stats and got the guy Coke, which is what 12-year-old kids ought to do. And one day he said, "Are you ready to make your debut?" And I said, "Well, I guess I am." And I broadcast a ball game in the bottom half of the seventh inning of this American Legion baseball game when I was 12, and that's how it started for me. And I've
Hey,
been
there you
basically at
go.
it ever since. I was when I was a sophomore in college, I worked full time and went to school full time, and have been at it ever since. And then obviously got into TV later on, and it's been great. It's my 20th year with the Hawks, and wouldn't trade it for a thing.
Oh man, that's something.
wow. Yeah.
Well, I have a couple questions NBA related that we ask pretty much everybody that comes on here. Last week we had Sir Foster on, and
Oh, okay,
so I wanted
that's
to
cool.
ask you this:
What
What
a
was?
talent, by the way. Isn't he
Oh,
amazing?
yeah, and kind of his story of coming in,
Uh huh.
of he plays. A lot of people didn't know he plays two instruments,
Uh huh.
and yeah, just really
He's fabulous,
talented.
and he's
Oh
such
yeah.
a positive guy. I hope that came across when you talked to him.
Yeah, we told him everything. He was very thankful, very humble, very humble.
Yeah, he's great.
Great
But
guy.
what did you ask him?
Well, we ask everyone that comes on, do you have a welcome to the NBA moment? Like you're like, wow, I'm, broadcasting in the NBA or something.
Um, hmm. Well, if I did, I would have to go back, um, probably to um, when I was working for Home Team Sports up in Washington,
Mm-hmm.
and I was filling in, and we had Jordan in the early years at the Cap Center. That was pretty cool. But to me, it was more hanging around guys like Wes Unseld and Elvin Hayes, the
Oh, wow.
coach, and just
Wow.
hearing the stories about you know the the uh, the playing days coming up and you know stuff like that. That was more of it, hanging around Lenny Wilkens when he was our coach, and hearing all the stories about St. Louis and the old days. That was more a welcome to the NBA moment that you're actually talking to these legends, and hanging around them. More so than any one like game or something like that.
Okay. That's a
Yeah,
great act. That's pretty
yeah,
neat.
because I sit next to a walking history book
Well,
every night, so uh, just to hear his stories, are great. But
uh,
I think that's probably more of a welcome to the NBA moment for me.
did you know that, is this the same guy that has a statue out in front of Phillips
Yes,
Arena?
yes,
Okay. I
yeah.
think I think I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about now.
Well, I kid when we play San Antonio, I always kid Pop and I say, you guys didn't really do enough for Dominique when he was a San Antonio Spur. And Pop says, well, why? I said, well, if he hadn't have been so bad, you guys wouldn't have stunk and you wouldn't have gotten Tim Duncan. I said, if
Oh.
Neek would have been, a great player for you, you'd have missed a lot of pick and, the rest would have been history.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Does he have a reaction to this, or is he
Who,
just
Dominique or Pop?
that's
Pop laughs,
oh,
you know,
okay.
and Nick says, "Hey, wait a minute. He was playing me a power forward. How much is he was scoring?" We hear it all.
Wow. Well, my second question, which I normally ask, you kind of just answered it. I say, but if you have another one, please let us know. I ask pretty much everyone, do you have like a funny kind of behind the scenes moment that, guys wouldn't hear on TV or read that you could tell us?
That I
Um,
listen to is
oh, yeah, well, for instance, I remember KL told me that one time Mike Muscala was asked for quotes for an interview once, and he was shocked, saying, "Someone wants to speak to me." So it was just something small like that, if you have one.
um, thinking back, like some of the broadcasters, some of the legends. I think the one thing that was so cool uh, was how helpful the legends of the game were to me. I got the chance, obviously, to be with Chick in L.A. when he was at the end of his career in Los Angeles, and the Eddie Doucettes of the world. These guys legendary. Play-by-play guys, the Marv Alberts that you'll see from time to time when TNT's in town, etc. Mike Breen couldn't be nicer. I think that's probably the one thing that makes you feel, sort of like a member of the lodge, if you will, because they're so helpful and just go out of their way to be nice and welcome you. Because a lot of I was in the baseball world too, and it's not always that way. So the NBA brotherhood is a strong one, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
All right, great. Well, I had one question that I'm sure the world wants to know, but Garrick, real quick, before we let him go, Garrick, did you have anything else you wanted to say before I asked this?
This must be the showstopper question.
Uh, okay, well, I don't hear anything from him. Yeah, okay, let me ask you. How did you guys leave Jeff behind in Detroit? How did this happen?
Well,
Did
this
Jeff?
is I cannot tell a lie. I wasn't on that bus. We have two
Oh, okay,
We have two
okay.
buses, and one leaves the media bus, the second bus,
Yeah.
leaves a little bit earlier because we've got some of the gear and So they want us to get there and get settled and pack the stuff. So when the guys do get there, they just get on and we can leave. So the first bus leaves.
Okay.
And from Auburn Hills, from the Palace to the Oakland Airport, where we leave in Pontiac, is about a half an hour ride. Everything goes normal. We pull up, go through, security, and onto the plane we go. And we sit, and we sit, and we sit. So where are these guys? And of course, when they finally got there, we got the story that they were almost to the airport and had to turn around and go back and get Jeff. And I don't know, because we've got our security guy, and it's like a buddy system. Everybody sits in the same seat every day, so we sort of got this story secondhand. But they just thought they had everybody, and off they went. But the great part about that story is to see him right there at the loading dock where the bus goes in.
Yeah.
With that pizza box hanging at his side. And I'm like, Jeff, your pizza, it's all falling down. You don't hold a pizza box like that. He said, no, it's empty, man.
Oh, okay.
So he was with his sister, and I guess they just got in a big conversation, and he sort of lost track of time, and they, the guys on the bus just, one of those moments where they just forgot about our guy, and felt bad about it. But I sent out a tweet, and I said, now look, now he said, because Jeff said after the story, he said, I wish I could get some better pizza next time. And I said, well, attention, Atlanta pizza makers. I mean, this is your opportunity to get some free pub. Get Jeff a good pizza.
That is amazing. Okay, so you just kind of solved some of the riddles from this story. We didn't know the box was empty. I don't think anyone knew the box was empty. But okay, because we were having some conspiracy theories about this. We were all like, everyone, you know how Twitter goes crazy.
Oh, yeah.
We were all wondering, well, Jeff didn't have that bad of a game. We won. Why would you leave him? And then
That's right.
someone made the comment of Dennis wanted starting, he wanted more minutes. So we were questioning if he drove the bus.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, there were plenty of pictures. Great.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Dennis in the bus driver hat and uniform behind the wheel is great. Oh, Jeff, we didn't know you weren't on.
They do have a buddy system, everyone, so everyone who's listening. All right. That was my last question. I see Garrick, you're back. Did you have anything else you wanted to ask Bob while we have him right here?
No, Josh, you pretty much got everything. It's a joy to talk to him. One of the biggest fans.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Bob, for coming on and talking to us. We know, with your knowledge of basketball and everything that you basically said to us, you're a busy guy, so we're not going to keep you too long.
Okay.
And we appreciate you.
Thanks, and we appreciate you guys too. We really do. It means so much that you're loyal through thick and thin. A lot of people, can jump on that bandwagon, but there are few of us, they're going to be there win or lose. So most of them are there win or tie, but you guys are there win or lose, and we appreciate that.
Oh, we've been
69 season, Josh.
Oh yeah, we've been there. Yeah, we were there when Tyrone Lue wasn't coaching but playing for the Hawks.
That's right.
We were there for that game.
We remind him of his game winning course on Super Bowl Sunday in New Jersey. His greatest moment as a Hawk.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you, Bob, for coming on. And man, we're going for it. We're rooting for the 5-0 finish, and we're rooting for another chance to get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I think we can do it.
Everything.
I think we can do it.
Everything. All right. Well, go Hawks, and thank you, Bob, once again for coming on. We'll love to talk to you sometime much later. Again.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Cool. And that's that. All right, Garrick. Let's just wrap it up real quick.
All right,
We're at 54 minutes.
because I'm kind of babysitting and she just woke up.
Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah,
I'll wrap it up real quick.
yeah.
All right. So, guys, thank you, Bob, for coming in. Great conversation with you, man. Man, we pretty much covered everything this week. We talked about the games, talked about the Suns game coming up, where we're going to be recording during that, so we'll be good. We'll talk about the games coming up later in the week, but I guess that's everything, man. Thank you, Garrick, for joining me today once again.
Great show today, Josh.
Great. Well, thank you guys, everyone, and tune in next time, man. Peace.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.